consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so, end of quote. Repeat the line.
Damn it! For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Where there's a lot of things that we could be covering, there's a lot of things that we should be covering, but unfortunately, we're stuck in a position where we just have to talk about the fact that the President of the United States of America is literally suffering from dementia. Some people might be saying, well, I don't know if he's literally suffering from dementia. He doesn't have an official diagnosis. But come on for a second, let's please be real. It is undeniable at this point. The fact that it's been nearly 500 days with this guy in office, and we're still doing this on a week-by-week, sometimes day-by-day basis. I don't even know how I feel about it anymore. I can't tell if I'm getting tired of it, or if I'm still enjoying the process, but here we go again. This week in Joe Biden Can't Formulate a Coherent Sentence, video number 150 of Joe Biden's brain falling apart, and just how unfortunate that is for America on the world stage. Let me show you guys what happened this week. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, if you guys saw the intro video, a little Ron Burgundy comparison, Ron Burgundy meme. Ron Burgundy, of course, the Anchorman, the classic movie where this news anchor literally reads everything off the teleprompter. That was the joke. Well, with this guy, with Sleepy Joe, it's no joke. It is, in fact, very, very real. Here's Joe, once again, reading literally everything that's written on the teleprompter for him.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so, end of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political, or maybe precise, not and or.
End of quote, repeat the line. Oh, really, Joe? It would have been bad enough if he just said repeat the line, but again, for I think the maybe second, third, fourth, fifth time, we've seen this a couple times with Sleepy Joe, he actually says end of quote. And then even worse, he actually says out loud, repeat the line, which is an instruction for him, clearly, to repeat the line. I mean, this stuff is crazy, and everything starts to come full circle, where Joe Biden, I think 2 weeks or so ago, was being criticized after a White House photographer captured Joe Biden's notes, which read, "You enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to participants. You take your seat, press enters. You give brief comments. You ask Liz Schuler, blah, 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 president of whatever, a question. Note, Liz is joining virtually. You thank participants. You depart." Notice how it doesn't mention you take questions. No, you immediately get out of the room. But they have to give this guy notes telling him to enter the room and say hello to participants. Joe Biden's own staff knows that he's not competent enough to do something as basic as say hello and take a seat, because he's probably going to walk in the room and say, "Oh, where am I going? Where am I going? Oh, what's going on? Who am I? What year is it?" And he's probably going to turn around and shake an invisible person's hand. They need to give him notes. Walk forward 3 steps, turn around, take a seat, your chair is red. They have to probably color code it different than other people. And the whole thing is just so ridiculous. This guy can't get through a basic event without overly detailed notes from his staff or a teleprompter. His name's Teleprompter Joe for a reason. They had to literally create a fake White House set. They had to create a studio because Joe Biden's the first president in American history who can't conduct events or record basic videos in the Oval Office because he needs a teleprompter at all times. There was a story from a couple months ago that we covered where essentially White House staff had admitted that they created a separate fake White House studio for Joe Biden because they couldn't reliably or effectively keep a teleprompter in the Oval Office in his actual office. And we know that Joe cannot do these events without a teleprompter. And then even with the teleprompter, even with Joe staring directly into the teleprompter, I mean, you can look at his eyes during these events. Guy looks like a malfunctioning robot just desperately trying to follow the script. But even with a massive teleprompter in front of him telling him exactly what to say, it still ends up being a complete disaster.
In all 50 states in the District of Columbia, to seek to terminate the presidency and maybe save her life. When tens of millions of women vote this year, fastest way to restore Roe than the percentage of the men who do so, end of quote. Repeat the line. This is the first use of a weapon to murder someone in Japan
I mean, how is anybody looking at this stuff not face palming? I mean, it's just sad. There's something wrong with this guy. I mean, it's bad. It's sad. Anybody with a basic conscience, even if you don't like Joe, even if you think Joe is the worst human being on the planet, you gotta be looking at this stuff and feeling bad for him. And some of it is just bizarre. Here's a clip of Joe Biden at the most recent NATO event where he does some weird stuff with his hands.
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance. Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
Like I'm saying, it's just odd and bizarre. If it was just one event or one weird thing that Joe Biden did at one specific moment, it'd be one thing. But he's always doing this weird stuff that just makes it seem like something's wrong with him. Here's one from a week later. Biden appears to imitate a fish in bizarre response following speech in Cleveland. There's this infamous Joe Biden clip.
Why attack Sanders?
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
Here's Joe Biden saying his butt's been wiped.
What must be what?
And so really it's the compounding effect. I wasn't kidding when I said I've made like 150 videos. I don't have the exact number, but I pretty much guarantee you I have made easily over 100 videos of Joe Biden gaffes or ridiculous Joe Biden statements that make absolutely no sense, or weird, bizarre actions or reports that Joe Biden pooped his pants in front of the Pope, but he let out a massive, long-winded fart in front of the Duke of Sussex, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know these British royal tags and labels, and nor do I care, but the point is, it's a compounding effect. They continue to pile up and add up. And it'd be one thing if it was a little bit of an outlier and people were exaggerating the severity, kind of like Donald Trump when he walked down the ramp slowly and people were saying that he was unfit for office for 3 weeks straight. That was clearly a one-off situation that Democrats blew out of proportion and were exaggerating in disingenuous partisan fashion. But with Joe Biden, it's the exact opposite. There is something here that is very clearly concerning. Any honest individual, whether right, left, center, whatever you are, can clearly see what's going on here. This man is not well. If he can't even be expected or relied upon to formulate coherent sentences, and even beyond that, not even necessarily formulate them, but then just read them off a damn teleprompter, he doesn't have the mental capability or cognitive ability to realize that he shouldn't say end of quote, repeat the line while reading off the teleprompter, then how can he be expected to push for good policies and to be a great leader of the most important, influential, and powerful nation on earth? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's unrealistic. The man's become a complete laughingstock. Every single week, someone seems to be making fun of the last thing that Joe Biden did, like Tucker Carlson just the other day.
That's about it for us tonight. Repeat the line. That's about it for us tonight. Sorry, Biden joke.
And if it's not Tucker Carlson, then it's Sky News Australia, or some other outlet, or some comedian, or something. And like I always say, folks, of course it's funny. Making fun of Joe Biden is absolutely hilarious. And some of the moments with Joe Biden, some of the gaffes, some of the video edits are completely hilarious. I mean, unreal how funny they are sometimes. But then you start to realize what's going on. I'll describe what I'm trying to say here visually with Steve Harvey memes, because, I mean, why not? The Joe Biden meme comes on, and this is your reaction. And then once you start to realize the importance of Joe Biden's position and the fact that he's the highest elected official representing you and your nation, well, then the humorous element starts to fall off quite significantly, and you start looking something like this. Those are probably the two perfect gifs that I think a lot of you guys could relate to. Joe Biden said my butt's been wiped. Oh, wait a second. Joe Biden's the president of the United States, and my standard of living is going straight to the toilet. That probably sums up the last year and a half quite effectively, I'd say. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.